Hi, I'm Father Joel, and welcome to Pilgrim Priest. I'm grateful to all of our mission partners and supporters, especially those of you that give me active feedback on the homilies. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for sharing your thoughts with me, and for leaving comments on the posts, and for sharing us with your friends. God bless you. The weekend of July 12th and 13th, I was away on a Steubenville youth conference. I don't know if you've heard of this before, but it originated with the Franciscan University in Steubenville, Ohio. That's the name of the town and also the name of the university now. And they started doing these kind of charismatic youth conferences, which became so big and so popular that they started to have different locations around the United States. So I think there are 21 different Steubenville youth conferences this summer, and I've gone on a number of them. It's always a great experience. It's mostly for teens, high school students who go with chaperones and priests to a weekend, basically, with incredible music, some really great Christian bands, Catholic musicians, speakers that are well known in the Catholic speaking world, and also opportunities for confession, adoration, Holy Mass, just some beautiful chances to experience the Lord and to kind of reevaluate their lives in light of the gospel message and hopefully encounter Christ in a powerful and moving way. I know that I personally encountered Christ in some powerful ways. And I'll share about that in a little bit in a minute. So I didn't preach for the weekend. However, I got to listen to a homily by Bishop Robert Barron. And that's because we were in Rochester, Minnesota. That was the host of this particular Steubenville conference. And Bishop Robert Barron is the bishop of the Diocese of Winona-Rochester. So he came and celebrated the Mass, gave a great homily on the Good Samaritan. And I just wanted to share his thoughts on the Good Samaritan. So this is Bishop's himself's homily. I thought it was really powerful. What he said was he was comparing the Good Samaritan to Jesus. There are a number of Catholic authors, early church fathers, who have seen these interesting connections. I think St. Augustine is one that he named. But of course, we know the story, right? The man is on his way from Jerusalem to Jericho, and he gets stripped and beat up and left half dead. Highway robbery, by the way, in the ancient world was literally that, and it was quite common for people to catch someone out on the road where they were away from the help of anybody, and they would rob them, and in this case, they beat the guy and they leave him half dead. So a Levite and a Samaritan traveler both come across the victim, and they pass by on the other side, or rather a Levite and a priest. And then the Samaritan comes, and the Samaritan pours oil and wine over his wounds, bandages them, puts him up on his own animal, takes him to an inn, and gives the innkeeper 2 silver coins with the instructions of taking care of this man. So where do we see Jesus in this story? Well, the first thing we see is that the man is on his way down from Jerusalem to Jericho. And that's literally a journey down the hill, because Jerusalem sits at quite a much higher altitude than Jericho. But also Jericho has a connection with the world, with the worldliness, with wealth and power. Remember, it's in Jericho that Zacchaeus sees Jesus, and also a blind man too. So Jericho was also the city that when the Israelites crossed into the Promised Land, they surrounded and marched around it for 7 days before they took it. So Jericho in the Bible has this symbol of the world, of the worldly city. Jerusalem, on the other hand, has a symbol of being the holy city. It's the place where the king lives. It's the place where the temple is. And so the man going down from Jerusalem to Jericho is human beings, is human nature. It's us leaving God's holy city and getting caught up in the city of this world. And that leaves us beaten. That leaves us beat up and stolen, having what is our valuable identity taken from us. The priest and the Levite represent a man's search for God, like our work to worship God, to create religion, to do what we can to fix the problem. And you'll notice that neither the priest nor the Levite is really able to help this person. And Bishop Barron points out that that's because what's fundamentally wrong with human nature, like the sin that's at the heart of the rupture between God and humanity, is something that we ourselves can't fix. So they don't have the means to fix wounded humanity. The Samaritan comes along. Now, a Samaritan is sort of a half Jew, half pagan kind of thing. Samaritans were descended from the Jews. They didn't go off into Babylonian captivity. They remained in the promised land, but their religion became kind of mixed. It kind of mixed between Jewish and pagan practices. And so Bishop Barron points out that this sort of hybrid character is in a sense like Jesus, who is both divine and human. He is living in the world of God and the world of man, and therefore he sort of symbolizes Christ. He's moved with compassion, approaches the victim and pours wine and oil over his wounds and bandages them. Now, these were used in ancient medicine, but these are symbols of the sacraments that we are given to care for us, to heal us, the 7 sacraments that Christ has given us. Then he puts him on his animal and takes him to the inn. And the innkeeper in the inn, according to Bishop Barron, is a symbol of the church. Whereas we've been sort of rescued from the wounds of sin, we still need to recover. We're not ready for heaven yet. We're recovering from the woundedness that we've experienced in our human nature, in our human life. And as part of this journey of healing, Christ has leaves the church to care for us on our recuperation. And for me, I just thought that last element of talking about the church to care for us was just really powerful. Because one of the things that I always experienced on Steubenville is the power of the church as it gathers around Christ and as it worships Jesus. And this spoke to me really powerfully with the closing Mass on Steubenville. It was Sunday morning. Bishop Barron was celebrating. We had a number of priests from various dioceses in the upper Midwest gathered there, plus 2,000 youth and chaperones. And there was this deep sense of that we were here to worship Christ, and that it was putting Christ at the center of our lives that was then allowing us to be in communion with one another. I had this deep sense this is my family. These are my people. This is home for me. And then, of course, it's the closing Mass, so it was all ending. And I thought about how much Steubenville inspires me and encourages me, and how much I'm going to miss it. And I had this sense as we were ending that this is meant to be a foreshadowing of heaven. Now, I wish that every Mass could be this beautiful, could have a fantastic choir or band, could have Bishop Barron preaching, could have priests and lay people all gathered together with this deep sense of worship. Just the power that moved through that place was amazing. And this is what heaven will be like. Heaven will be a community, a family, a communion, in communion with each other. This is what we're called to. But also, this is what Sunday Mass is meant to be like. It's meant to be heaven on earth. It's meant to be a glimpse of the eternal kingdom. And so I wish that our Sunday Masses could capture what happened to me in Steubenville, and that everyone could leave Steubenville like I did, with tears in their eyes, tears that it was so beautiful, grateful for the experience, but also sad that it was over. Let's pray that our Sunday Masses can be a deep and powerful experience of God's moving love for us. Here in the church, we are all in recovery. Jesus Christ has come to get us, to pour the sacraments over our wounds, and we're now recuperating at the inn, which is the church. Let's pray for healing in ourselves. Let's pray for healing in our neighbors. Let's pray for healing in our world, that Jesus can be the Good Samaritan for all of us. Do you think Bishop Barron will ever be a cardinal? I guess if so, that would make him the Red Baron.